We introduced you. They know you started from the bottom. They know you self-taught. But I want them to see the abilities that you have, even as somebody who's self-taught. I'll be leaving, but I locked my keys in the car. So
he said, "Where are you, Dad?"
We're waiting on the police. It's day 2. I still ain't been in my car.
Sure seemed like it, but they say the definition of insanity is to try the same thing over and over again. Alright, you're right there.
So a little setback.
Little setback. We got the keys.
Setback. We got the keys.
We're finally gonna leave. So we got them knew I could tell you.
Hey, you want to do me a favor?
What's up?
Turn the video sideways. Yeah, there you go.
All I know is that I do it for my city, yeah. All I know is that I do it for my city.
Suck.
I almost rolled my ankle on this.
Oh, this is Pebble? Did you say Pebble?
All I know is that I do it for my city, yeah.
So what we about to do? We about to get out. We waiting for him to come out here.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna call him. This is actually Darrell now, but we here. We in front of the arts building.
We in front of the arts building, the darts building. We come where you larts building, the hearts building, the ball building.
All right, let me
He
know when
coming
you're
outside right now, but he inside. So right now we ain't even gonna see him unless we clown. That's a bar. Did you hear what I said?
Nope.
I said.
You don't remember.
I said.
You don't remember.
When I was 5 years old, I was really 4 the whole time. I couldn't even unlock the door because I was too small. But they told me I would get big. But they wasn't talking about me being a big kid.
Wait, does that make sense?
No.
Did it flow? It flowed a little bit.
Bro.
But did it make sense?
What's up?
Did you know chickens lay eggs every day?
Really?
Yes. They don't need like a rooster to lay eggs. They just lay eggs.
Dude, that is not.
That is.
So they're asexual, bro?
They just lay it. No, it's not. The eggs that they lay is just regular eggs.
Oh, so they don't have chickens?
Nah.
Pause. So is that the chicken pooping?
No. Oh my gosh, please stop
Because you
right
nah,
now.
because you
is.
poop every day, right?
So you chicken. Have you ever? Wait, talk about. Have you ever seen a chicken poop?
Because I've never physically.
Because they don't.
They
They
lay
don't.
eggs.
You've never.
They lay
Oh,
eggs.
Ayla, you've never seen.
Ayla, you act like Ayla. We know
Chicken
this.
poop. I just haven't seen them do that deed. Like I've
Ayla,
seen.
Nah.
have you seen any documentary on TVs of a chicken pooping?
Yes.
No, you have. And the egg came out.
Chickens poop eggs.
You're not
Ayla.
telling me a chicken
Dang.
lay eggs and poop every
It
day.
does.
Nah.
There's no way.
no
Their
way.
bowels can't handle that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, no.
We all
Yeah, bro.
Y'all need serious help.
Nah. Elijah pulled up. He got his do-rag on, y'all. He still got his do-rag on. It's still a little early in the Lions time.
No, he got them braids pulled back.
Okay, he hollering. What up, boy? What's up, family?
Oh my God.
You need a jacket out here, boy.
We act like we don't live in Ohio.
I know, right? What's up? Yo, okay, so we are finally here. We sitting here once again. We are sitting here with the Elijah Hill, overall complete musician. Today on Real Talk, one of the things that we really want to highlight is being self-taught and starting from the bottom. A lot of people start from the bottom and they think that they need a mentor or a coach or somebody to teach them the ropes. But we sitting here today with somebody who had neither one, had to teach himself everything about the pianos, everything about the drums. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to really dig into his mind, see what inspired him to get started, what road does he see himself going on, and is there anything else?
And
we
he
want
has
to talk about?
nice shoes.
He got real nice shoes on.
You have to stay fitted.
And then I don't know if you can see, but his pants are the best length away from his shoes.
You know,
If they was any higher,
some people up here.
oh, you need some lotion.
Hey,
Remember the Vaseline?
You need
Vaseline.
some lotion. But
so,
Yeah, so Elijah, all right, so before we dig into the conversation about being self-taught, let's just talk a little bit about you, man. So where are you from? How'd you get here? What's up, man?
So, I'm from Alliance, Ohio.
Shouts out to the A.
Got here
Big A.
The big A.
from my parents.
Yeah. Shouts out to that Luther Vandross playlist. Shouts out to Luther.
Never too much, never too much. No, but from the A, you know, been here my whole life.
Yeah.
Just a hometown dude
Mm-hmm.
trying to make a change here. So,
Right.
How'd you get involved into the music?
honestly, I consider it like a God-given gift.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been asked time and time, like, how'd you learn how to play the drums? I woke up one day and I could play the drums.
So seriously though, did it really come about just like that? Like, was there a step before that? You know, how did
being
that-
born.
Yeah.
So by the time I was 2, I could sit down and I had a racetrack set, like
Yeah.
the spiral little tykes,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know how I found a pair of drumsticks, but I ended up playing on this race car track for the longest.
Yeah.
And
So
then,
you didn't even have a drum set yet.
No, I didn't get a drum set until I was like 8. And then my dad got his own church, and my drum set became the church's drum set.
Right.
So,
I remember when I was little and I used to call myself a drummer. I used to take the pots and pans in the house,
Yeah.
grab some pencils, and then
light it up,
yeah,
man.
my mom used to be, boy, don't you get all my dishes dirty, and you know all that stuff.
You know where them pencils
Yeah.
I definitely did ask my mom, could I play the drums when everybody was getting instruments in school? She's like, nah, it's too much noise.
Nah.
You're not doing that.
That bell kit.
Yeah. For real.
Trying to make trap beats off the bell kit.
For real. So you taught yourself how to play the drums, and you said that was just a gift that you discovered you had even as a kid. So
Yeah.
from the time of 2 years old to on, when did you realize that you were really good at it though? Like, who was the first person to say, yo, you might really have a thing for this? You remember that?
I got one dude now that's still to this day, like, he was the first person to even give me any, like, type of play when it came to music, period.
Right.
So, like, my dude Maurice always looked out for me. From the time I was
Shouts out
like,
to Maurice.
I was gonna
yeah,
say the same thing.
Maurice,
Yeah.
man, shout out. But from the time I was like 7, that's really when I started realizing, like, people actually paid you to play.
Right.
So, like, this dude would pick me up, take me different places to play with him, feed me, and put a little
That's
money in my pocket.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a big brother I never had. So, it was just being able to have somebody that exposed you to new stuff.
I think
Right.
that's important too. You
For
know,
sure.
everyone, especially when you trying to find something you want to do,
Yeah.
having that strong support group or somebody in your corner that's helping you, you know,
Right.
accomplish. Because let's just say Maurice wasn't there, you think like you would have went down the same path, or you still had a passion to play?
I'd have been discouraged by that point because Maurice was literally like, at that time growing up, I went to this church. Everybody in the church knew I could play.
Yeah.
By the time I left my dad's church, after I left that church to go play for my dad, everybody, hey, come, you want to come play for us? You want to come play for us? But when I was like 5 or 6, like, you didn't pay me no mind.
Yeah.
From the time I was born to the
So
time I
you
was
had
8.
haters at 6 years old.
At 6.
You just, they was like, oh, that's
That's
just another little
hey,
thing.
At
hey,
6.
that's
Another
real.
At
Yeah.
6,
Yeah.
like, it was to the point where, like, from that whole time period before my dad got his own church, I probably played in that church twice.
Yeah.
And one time was literally because Maurice just got up and was like, hey come on, go play.
Yeah.
Hey, but that's low key. It's cool, but it made your path even harder that your dad had this church and you wasn't even playing yet
Right.
at his church.
Yeah.
That's like some real dad type stuff.
Dude,
Now, I don't know, but
Yeah, it was like,
This episode not about that.
Now I want to ask y'all a question though, and I want both of y'all input on this, and I'm gonna share mine as well. But you said that I think you said that Maurice was the first person to like really show you that you had potential to in the music industry. How big do y'all think it is for that first person to give you that compliment? And do you feel like that compliment could work the same way as the person to tell you like you trash?
yeah, I mean, it could either help you or hurt you.
Right.
And like some people, like the dude that tell you trash, it depends on how he tell you trash.
Mm-hmm.
If he come like, hey bro, like you need to work on this, this, and this, and then he covers it up with like but you did this right,
Right.
that'll help you. But if you get a dude that's just like, man, like
It's bad.
you did this, man, and you you trash. It's like
right.
It might depend on the type of person you are too.
Yeah.
Because if I'm the type of person who doesn't take or doesn't latch on really well to criticism,
Right.
somebody telling me that I'm not good at something may make me crumble.
For sure.
So I think it's it could be the type of person. Because me personally, I like to think of myself like a strong individual. Somebody told me I couldn't do something,
Right.
so it's like I'm gonna do it regardless.
Yeah. So when you came up with No Negations, who was the first? Do you know who the first person was? That was like, yo,
It's not about me right now. It's talking about Elijah.
nah, but I just want to know like the effects of the first person that was like, yo, this is dope. You might be able to do something with this.
Elijah was the first person I talked to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
about it.
lit.
When before we were recording, we was talking about a little mishap.
Yeah.
Me and Elijah had in the weight room. He got
at the hands of Darrell.
He got a little
D.
injured
Summers.
on his own time.
No,
Let's just
right.
say that. But
No Negations.
when No Negations first came around, when I say that first couple of months, I only talked to one person. This is
One
Elijah.
person, yeah.
I went to the weight room. I was like, yo, Elijah, I had this idea of No Negations. He's like, yo, it's dope for real.
Right.
And sat back a little bit and then got it wrong. He actually got the first shirt.
Yeah.
So
You still got it?
I just wore it last week.
Yeah.
I still rock it, man.
So when even though you were self-taught, did everybody who you were playing for, did the people you were playing for know you were self-taught? Like, was that something that you were open about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Especially because I had like watched the movie Drumline so many times.
Yeah.
And I ain't want to get to a spot.
Shouts out to Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, matter of fact, didn't he have braids in?
he did.
Didn't he have braids?
He wrote my life story for me.
yeah.
But like, I didn't want to be in a situation where somebody like throw me a sheet of music.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't know how to read that. Like, I'm gonna just look at it. But so when I go in, I just let them know, like, look, I can't read a lick. Like,
Yeah.
but if you play it for me, I'll play it right back to you the same way you just played it.
And what's crazy, I remember like when I first met you, I heard about your music stuff, and then I heard you play, and then watching you grow up a little bit, and then go play in Berkeley. How was that?
Culture shift. Like, it was just like, last year was just a year of me like trying to just hone my craft and just be a better person in all aspects of life. So I just looked on there one day. I remember like when I was younger playing, by the time I got to high school, I had got the Berkeley letter like, hey, come audition.
Wow.
And I told my dad, and he was just clowning. He's like, nah, man, did you go apply for that? Like, did you send a request information? I'm like, no. Like, I don't know how it got to my house. Somebody put me on the list. They sent it to my house. But I never paid it any mind, so I went back. And I thought about it one time. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just look on the website, see if they got like any camps or anything. Or like, what do you got to do? I just went out there and with no clue in the world, like just get on a plane and just get there.
And you took that chance.
Yeah, it was just all about taking risk in life. If you ain't going to take no risk, man, I don't know how you going to do this thing. So
Right.
the risk, it was good. It was for the better now, to the point where I'm learning how to read music. Like, I done connected with some dope musicians all over the world. Like, it's just making connections for real and trusting your skill and being able to believe that you can accomplish things. Like, just stepping out on faith for real.
So the first instrument that you play was the drums, and the other instrument that you play. How many different instruments do you play? Is it 2? Is it 3? Like, what is it?
2.
Yeah.
1 all the way.
Yeah.
The second one like halfway.
But
yeah. Like
so,
2.
So when it came to playing the piano, which is the second instrument, being self-taught in that, was it like, did you just jump on YouTube and start looking at tutorials? Did you Google it? Like, what was the path and what did you use to teach yourself,
My homeboy Maurice again.
Shout out to Maurice, bro.
Maurice
Maybe we
making
should
big
just
moves.
be talking to Maurice.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe, man. But I just went, like, I spent a bunch of time with him, and one day I was just like, hey, man, like, what's the method behind, like, playing the piano? Like, what do you do? What's the rule of thumb?
Right.
And he just showed me the scale, like a basic scale, and showed me the little formula for that. And then he started showing me how to chord scales.
Uh-huh.
And after I heard one scale that I actually liked, like, once I heard it, it was stuck in my head. So I was able to just go off of hearing at that point. So from there, I started listening to music for real. Just listening to different music and just hearing stuff and just trying it for real. It was just basically like trial and error for me.
For sure.
So
And it's really crazy, us three sitting here. we're talking about, starting something without a whole lot of experience.
Right.
Like you with your podcast,
For
me
sure.
with the business, and then you in music. You think as far as like what would be something that I guess both of y'all could say to somebody that's trying to start something new or trying to get into something that they don't really know about, what to really do, how to start that. Because for me, it was just like, just do it, just jump in there and get started.
Right.
So what is something what do y'all think is like the advice that you give to somebody that's in the position that we all three of us were in?
I would say, man, a lot of that just doing it thing, and like I hate to always say just do it because we all know who owns that, but like really just doing it is the key. I always tell people before I started my podcast and had zero broadcasting experience, and even my podcast led me to hosting and moderating events, which I had no experience in either one.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody was like, yo, you want to host this event? And I'm like, for sure, I'll do it. But with the podcast, I just bought the equipment and I had to start. Like once I bought the equipment, I had no choice but to start the podcast. When they asked me to host this event for the Northeast Ohio Young Black Democrats, they was like, oh, I remember this because somebody came up to me and was like, oh, so do you always moderate? I was actually different from you. I was like, yeah, all the time. Yeah, all the time. I do it all the time, every Saturday. And so they was like, oh, great, so I'm sure you'll be good. And I was like, yeah, and then it came out great. So my big advice is to just try. I'd rather try and find out that I'm not good at it or find out that I need to learn a lot more than to not try at all because I've never done something.
Speaking of trying, hey Dev.
What's up?
Elijah.
Yeah.
Elijah, why don't you try to teach Dev something on the piano?
Oh, that's big. Shouts out to the director.
Director wait, hold on. Director Ayla Stewart out in the cut.
Stewart in the cut.
Message her for bookings.
Oh my gosh.
So Devin, man.
What's up?
Why did you ask me? Like, I'm not capable.
Well, I'm more talented.
It's not your time. It's not your time. Just relax. So, Dad, man, we're gonna learn just a scale, a basic scale, C scale. From the C scale, everything from here. This is the easiest one because it's all white keys, no segregation. You gotta just that's C to C. So everything.
Okay, so I'm right here.
Yeah, you're playing everything in here. So when you go do the scale, when you do the scale, man, you start here, go all the way up. I'm gonna do it in a different octave, but you're gonna do it.
Wait, go slow.
You said you're doing it in a different octagon. What does that mean?
Octagon.
All right, boom. I think I got you. Oh, hold on. Wait.
Start from the bottom. Hold on. Since we talking about starting from the bottom, making it to the top, start here on this C, and just work up to the top, and then go back
right
down.
here.
No, that's
he got little hands.
So I know, right? This piano's huge. We're just ordinary people. We don't know which way to go. We don't know. So clearly I'm not musically talented. You are. So before we wrap this video up, I think that the best way to wrap this up is to wrap it up with you playing something. He said, no, don't get nervous. But I think that would be dope. Like, we introduced you. They know you started from the bottom. They know you self-taught. But I want them to see the abilities that you have, even as somebody who's self-taught. We don't have a drum set.
Give us a good going out tune, Elijah.
Yeah.
All right.
Something that might make people cry a little bit.
I can't make nobody cry. I think I can make people laugh. Today I was at church and I started playing some
Stop music.
So wait, y'all are telling me roosters are male chickens? Is that roosters are male chickens?
Yes, dude.
Bro!
I knew that one.
I did not know that. I'm like, why do they keep emphasizing that a chicken need a rooster? Like, is a chicken not a chicken?
So two chickens can't have
Two chickens can't have, what? You telling me a chicken not a chicken? No, a rooster is a male chicken.
Yeah.
That's why they be so strong in the neck area.